All right, troops, welcome to Actually. My name is Owen. So we've been away for a few weeks because, well, basically everyone's lives fell apart, especially mine. We just had to rebuild. So, yeah, work was crazy. But we're all back now, and I think we're all in good spirits. How are you all tonight?
Awesome.
Doing good.
Excellent. So tonight,
Survived a hurricane in the mountains for some fucking reason, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Oh, we had two, and they both missed me by like.
Shut up, Florida, when no one cares
I'm
about you and
sorry.
hurricanes. Okay, I'm in the goddamn mountains.
I didn't know what to do at first. I was like, should we go somewhere? Like, nobody was going anywhere. I'm like, should we be evacuating right now? And everybody's like, just
Florida.
get some water. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so that's basically why we haven't been on for a while, because there've been hurricanes and things like that going on. It's just been crazy. But anyway, we're here now and all as well. So tonight we're going back to 1983, I think it is, to discuss You're the Hunter from the Future with Reb Brown, with one of the best main themes ever. It's yours world, he's the man.
We're just living in it. That's right.
Yeah. Exactly. So fun movie. So I'm not going to say much to start off with. I'm going to start off with J-Man. So you know so much more about this movie. So we'll
what do you want to talk about? YouTube, what do you want to talk about? Sorry, I was watching Raw Wrestling before we started. Have you seen the full miniseries? I have the full miniseries, Grammaton. And Quagnar's here. Thanks for coming, Quagnar. I appreciate it. Yeah, well, I mean, I love this movie. Obviously, I have a Facebook group for it. You guys can join the Facebook. Everyone here is on the Facebook group already. I'm friends with Reb Brown, which I think Charlie and I think we're all friends with Reb Brown.
Actually, I'm not.
I'm friends.
I gotta get on
I've
that.
been trying to contact him too.
Yeah. Well, he'll reshare my your posts.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I've got the Blu-ray of this. I've got the official soundtrack of this. I've got all the lobby cards that came out in both sizes. There's the small ones, the bigger sizes. I have the poster, of course, which has nothing to do with the movie because nothing in that poster happens in the movie. The American poster. The American poster.
The American one.
Where'd the spaceships come from? That's all I want.
Yeah, that's not there. Yeah. And I have all of the comics in Argentinian in that language as a PDF. I have all the comics. And I also have the translated comics, which Stephen Ross, who is a friend of mine, we've all met him now. Oh, and you haven't met him yet.
No.
So, which were released by Arctic Press, and he is translating them. He's translating right now as we do this stream. He's translating issue 3 of Your into English first time ever. So I've got those as well. So yeah, and I've made some Your characters, and on my Facebook group I continued the Your story. I think it's a great movie. I don't think it's a great movie in a fun, let's make fun of it way. I think it's an awesome movie because it is awesome. I don't see movies in the way of saying like, oh, they're so cheesy, they're good. Or I don't like the Mystery Science Theater versions. I don't like the rip tracks, which John mentioned earlier. That's the only version that's out there.
That's what I got. I was still able to watch the movie, but I did snicker sometimes with some of their comments, though. Some of it was funny.
Yeah, my response to that is, what let me see the movie that you made and let me review your movie. Oh, you didn't make one. Okay. Like, even Weird Al Yankovic still had to write lyrics to make them make sense and be funny within the rhythm and, whatever of the song that he's copying. So even that is some skill. He is still doing something like doing an audio commentary, making fun of it. It's like, okay, I don't see your movie. But anyways, yeah, I love the movie. I think he's a great character. I like the sort of the He-Man aspects, which is fantasy and sci-fi all mixed up together. I like the girls in it. The 4-hour miniseries, I haven't watched the whole thing. I watched the first part of the 4-hour miniseries. It's pretty much the same. Like, it's just.
Is there more nudity or violence at all? Because there's no nudity in it, is it?
I don't even know. It feels like all fantasy movies have some nudity. I don't think there's any nudity in this one. No, this would have been on
PG. Yeah,
it would have been on TV, but that doesn't matter because in Croatia on regular television there was nudity all the time. When I was in Croatia for a few months back when I was younger, so they had their TV had nudity all the time. There's like topless beaches, like just all the time. So I don't know. Maybe there was, but I don't think that there was. Anyway, I love the movie. It's great. I like the villain. Just like the revelation. I wish that poster didn't show that it was the future. I think it would have been
You should just call it Your, and I just left it at that.
Or the Hunter, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then I'd be surprised. You're like, oh my god, there's like spaceships and shit. That's so cool. That would have been like awesome. But yeah, no, I think the character's good. He's a good guy. He's trying to, help them out. I like the mystery of the amulet. I mean, today we would have had it as a little disc or something. Or if they made this in the 80s, it would have been a square floppy disk.
That's what it would have been.
Right? But I like that they made this amulet that's like, okay, like, and then if they made it in, 1999, it'd be like a little CD. It'd be like a GameCube.
Yeah, you got the real tiny mini
the
disc.
tiny ones. Yeah,
that would have been what had all our information on. Now it's like scan or chip.
Now it'd be right now. No, he'd have like a barcode or something, like or like on the back, like
USB or something like that.
We'd go
USB stick.
We go Logan's Run all of a sudden real quick on that.
Yeah, Logan. Yeah, yeah. What's that? So yeah, I love the movie. I think it's great. The music is great. The soundtrack is good, not just the Your song, and I do know the lyrics of the song. And I think the lyrics could work. And if they ever remake I need to make it again. I would have Reb Brown play his father, Yours father, because that would be cool.
That'd be
so
awesome.
yeah, I love the movie. I think it's great. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, the thing is, like, he's such a sort of an appealing character as well. He's like a total hero. He can't help but save people. He smiles. He's not a miserable bastard like he would be today if they made it. It would be surly. But no, I like that. And then very much product of the 80s, which is a good thing. But there's like dinosaurs in it. There's shootouts. I mean, what's not to like? So, like, I'm literally going to a show in the next few weeks with a couple of people from work, and it's like animatronic dinosaurs downtown. I'm like, I don't care. I'm forever 8 years old. I'm there, and I'm going to be more excited than any of the kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he fights the dinosaur, and then there's like there's like futuristic guys, and there's like the hidden cities and all that, and it's pretty neat. They tried.
Yeah. Sean, what do you think about it?
I saw this like as a kid, but it was one of the movies back then. I thought it was pretty cool. The thing that stood out to me was the part where he's staking out the enemy apes and they have Kayla.
The blue apes.
Yeah, and he kills that one pterodactyl, and then he flies into it with the rigor mortis corpse. That's awesome.
That's not in the comic, by the way.
I was gonna say, like,
it's not in the comic.
That sucks. It needs to be in the comic.
Yeah, the comics were not translated for decades and decades.
Yeah.
So now they finally are. And now I'm reading them, like they're I think issue 2 came out a week ago.
Yeah.
And I think it's only 3 issues. But anyway, reading those, they added a lot of action and cool ideas to it in the movie. And it's pretty neat because you'd figure like all the fanciful stuff is from the comics. It's not, and the comics are a little bit more deep. It's like he's more of a philosopher. Like he shuns the gods and feels that humanity is more than just worshipping, and then he destroys one of the gods. But it's a big frozen mammoth, and they worship this thing, and he manages to throw it into the ocean, and he's like, it's nothing. It's just nothing. A corpse. It's just dead, right? That's cool. Kayla is one of the like he gets all these women thrown at him, and they're all like fawning over him stuff, and Kayla is more sassy and everything, so he's more attracted to her. And Peg is like a curmudgeonly pygmy character. He's like a little dwarf guy. It's a lot different in the movie. The movie's a lot more palatable, a lot more mainstream, but there's a lot of cool stuff in it. Like, that wasn't in the comics. It's pretty neat. And like, so I rediscovered it in the 2000s. I was at a Comic-Con with J-Man. I think Steve was there before Fan Expo in Toronto. We had a good Comic-Con here. And I bought a bunch of bootlegs because that's all I did. And one of them was Yor. I was like, oh yeah, Yor. Yeah, I know. The bootleg police won't come after me because I have this in multiple editions now. So, but
they actually just not affiliated with Sean in any way.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm Zack Snyder and I'm not affiliated with. I'm not getting into that.
There's a time when nothing was out, and I was like, why don't they release this? I'd buy it, and I did. So, but yeah, so I rewatched it, and I was like, this is awesome. And I was telling J-Man, like, this is pretty cool. Like, I described the pterodactyl thing and everything and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a cool movie. That whole song is awesome. It sort of sets it above par because like they wrote this whole like pop song. And it's wicked, man. And I love the lyrics for it too. When I found out this was like a 4-hour version before, I was like, oh my god, there's a 4-hour Yor, and I thought it's like something like, you know, exaggerated, but no, it's a 4-hour TV miniseries Yor. It's pretty awesome. I haven't gotten through it as well, but I think it's awesome that it exists. Yeah, I think it's a shame that this is somewhat a forgotten movie, and it's made fun of on, you know, riff tracks or whatever. Or MST3K or whatever the hell it was made fun of.
I never watch any of those. I hate those things.
Yeah, and I find it a shame that it took this long to get it translated, because it has a following. I don't know what the problem. I don't know where Fantagraphics was. It's like, you know, they do everything else for the Indu yours. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It deserves more attention. It deserves a revival. I love that there's a comic out right now for it, so you can track that down. Hopefully there'll be a trade paperback. That's really great stuff too. So
yeah, I mean, it's definitely due like to do like a 4K set, and you could have like the miniseries and the movie and everything as part of it. I mean, that's something that maybe like Arrow Video or somebody could do like a version of, or maybe Vinegar Syndrome, because Vinegar Syndrome love doing these sort of niche movies.
When the Blu-ray came out, like, I'm sorry, J-Man, I'm gonna say this, but like J-Man was like, I thought there was gonna be the miniseries and like a whole presentation about the comics. I'm like, yeah, they didn't do any of that stuff. It's weird, you know.
Yeah, it's Blu-ray.
It's just a Blu-ray.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's the commentary though. Which is kind of cool. But like what is going on here? There is a lot for this movie that you can definitely get. So there's not really no excuse for it not having a better release. You could have Reb Brown interview. I mean, I just like Reb Brown is like ripe for the pick, and he'll do a review of anything. Get him, get that Captain America double Blu-ray set remastered, whatever, get a commentary from that. Like, any of these things, he's around. Like Reb Brown is around right now. I'm sure he's not charging massive amounts of money to do these interviews, right? Like,
no.
Yeah. I just want to, before we go on, there's some good chat going on here. By the way, I posted links for the show in a Riff Tracks Facebook group.
FK,
I love that.
I'm gonna beat you up, FK. I'm blocking you on Messenger. That's it. It's over.
Yeah, I like Riff Tracks. It was the way I watched it.
John, we're not picking on you, John.
Oh my God, John. It's not all about you just because you're in the top corner.
I snickered a few times. Listen, like when he jumped over, the guy's like, I can see your ass. It was funny, all right?
Okay, that is funny.
That's funny. I like that.
Yeah.
So I casually mentioned in my J-Man way that I'm not a fan of Riff Tracks and all that. And I basically said they're trash, and then why don't they make their own movie if they're so good? And then everyone took this to heart.
Did they make a movie? They made a movie or something?
I don't know. I'm going to Riff Track the Riff Tracks movie.
We should like all go on it like
this sucks. Oh, let's see what this is.
Yeah, it was This Island Earth. They made fun of that in the movie.
Oh man!
Yeah,
they
made a movie.
What the hell? Oh, is that their?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so John, over to you.
Yeah, like I said, I was kind of mad that I had to watch it like that. I was like, damn it. But like I said, I had it on VHS, and I don't know what happened to it, and I just haven't gotten around to buying the Blu-ray, which I'm going to. But again, this was one of those movies. I was a kid. It was in my wheelhouse. I was doing Hawk the Slayer. I was doing, then it was Yor, and then I saw Yor, and then like after that, I saw Conan the Barbarian. I was like, holy shit, this is like on another level. But Yor is still like. It's sad because like if I was to show this to my daughters or to they'd be like they wouldn't get it, and that makes me mad. But it's like and I love how he's Yor is like this great guy. He's a hero.
He's the man.
Saves people. He's a dog though, because he finds Kayla. Then when he finds the blonde in cave, he's like, hey, who's this? He's like, oh, all right. And then there's that other lady. And then every time you see Kayla get jealous, and it was kind of like soap opera.
That wouldn't be in a remake, guarantee you that.
Right.
No. That's why I need to. That's why I need to do the remake.
Same with He-Man. Like you can't do He-Man unless they consult us, even though they already are making it, which would be terrible.
Right. But I love how I'm a huge Reb Brown fan. I'm like Last Flight to Hell, Robo War. I mean, and it's got Father Francois from Strike Commando, and it's like a reunion. Well, I mean, Strike Commando was made after Yor, but I was just laughing because like he's in it too. And I just love how every time he does something heroic, they play Yor's World. It's like it just starts coming out, and it just makes you feel happy. And you know, your 9-year-old kid comes out, and I love how it's like the last 20 minutes, all of a sudden it's like futuristic. It's like the whole movie is prehistoric, but then we learned atomic blast, so it wasn't prehistoric. It's because mankind destroyed itself, and then you know we went back to that, and these people were trying to like make something different. And I just love how how it ends and like how absurd it gets, and and they're running around the factory and they're shooting lasers that sound like the ones from Battlestar Galactica, and and every time he does something heroic, they play the theme song. And I do find it funny though how he's speaking perfect American through the whole thing, but yet they dubbed his voice with some other douchebag. I'm like, I forgot about that. I'm like, I want to hear yours like battle cry and his because like the guy does it, and I'm like, yeah, that's not Reb Brown, sorry. But but like I said, I saw this in the movie theater. I mean, like I said, my dad took it to.
That's insane, man.
Yeah,
that's so crazy to have seen that. That's awesome.
Yep, and like I said, and that's right when cable was coming out, and then like you'd go home, and like I said, Hawk the Slayer would be on, and all these other movies, The Sword of the Sorcerer, and watching it, you can see why people would rip on it. I mean, but to us, it's different, and like. I would just like I would defend it to my last breath. It's just a fun movie, and it's Reb Brown. Who doesn't love Reb Brown if you love these type of movies or this genre?
Exactly.
So there you go.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it's funny just seeing Grammatone there. They sampled those from Battlestar Galactica. Fun fact. Another fun fact regarding Battlestar Galactica. I'm nearly finished watching it. I got the DVD box set of the original series. I totally forgot that Fred Astaire was Starbuck's dad.
Yes. Yep.
I was like, what? I totally forgot that, and I was watching it.
I forgot that too.
Yeah,
I got to rewatch those.
Oh yeah, it's still a great show. I mean, yeah, it's a set or whatever at times, whatever. I don't care. You just get into it because the stories were cool. I mean, do you remember where was it thingy? Patrick McNee was Satan. Was that what he was? Yeah, that was a great storyline. That was really cool. Anyway, there's good stuff there. Anyway, Charlie.
Somehow I never heard of Yor as a kid. We covered it on J-Man Stream, and we brought it up, and I was like, wait, I have this movie. I didn't know anyone else knew about it. I had found it at Walmart for like $3.74. It was in the giant bin, and my buddy just holds it up and he's like, what's this? And I was like, I have no fucking clue, but it's $3.74. We're going to buy it. And we took it home and we watched it. And that second that theme song started, we were in. We set our asses down and we were like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen.
Yes.
Yeah. And
the only possible reaction.
It is. I mean, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with your brain if you don't think that immediately. I mean, I get like influences of Flash Gordon, which I know this was kind of trying to stay on that hype train that Flash Gordon was too. That's why there's a great theme song and why Reb kind of acts very Flash Gordon-y in this, which would be a perfect double feature. Play Yor and then follow it up with Flash. Perfect Saturday night. Saturday night. But yeah, I watched this several times. Then we did it on the stream where we put them up against other. We did this one against the Sci-Fi, and I think one of the best things I ever did with this movie was, even though he held up that box and I looked at it, I was only paying attention to the Yor part, and I went, yeah, let's get it. It looks awesome. I didn't know it had sci-fi in it. And I popped that motherfucker in, and we're sitting there watching it going, this is a great, prehistoric movie. Yeah, I dig it. He said it's 100 from the future. I know, it's kind of weird. Let's keep going. And then all of a sudden sci-fi shit starts happening. And we're like, mind blown. Like, what the fuck is this? This is even better. It just kept going. I was enthralled by it. And watching it today, just before the stream, I've now decided why Reb Brown's Yor is the second best character in here. Pag is the motherfucking shit.
When he does that move at the end, he does that.
Swings across the chasm and does the acrobatic flip. And it switches to action figures. And then it switches to live action, back to action figures. And then Pag has to flip his ass back over there. I was like, That is the greatest man alive right there. That Pag stole the fucking movie. That's
Father
all I care
Francois.
about.
That's Father Francois.
God.
Yeah,
I
and
know you
during
love
the
Tag.
song too. Whenever they play the theme song, then you know it's awesome.
Something awesome
Right,
happened.
yeah.
That's right.
Yours
That's right.
world.
I wanted them to change it all of a sudden and be like Pag's World, he's the man. You know,
Pag's World.
just for that one scene would have been awesome. But I have a ball with this. Like you said, the dinosaurs. Hell, the dinosaurs look fucking great in this movie.
Yeah.
This was it's Antonio Margaretti, the guy that Inglourious Bastards are, you know, not making fun of, but they're using his name in there. Margaretti. That's who directed. And even he's like, we didn't have any fucking money. He's like, we just out there having fun. Like, he loves this movie. And even he's like, yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's fun, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, you're fucking right. It's fun. And these things look great. It's bloody when he fights the dinosaurs in a PG movie. The girls are hot as hell. Kala, good Lord, she is fucking phenomenal. That brunette running around there. How many times did I kill the other girl?
Yeah, you didn't like Roa. I know you didn't like Roa for some reason. No, you're against Kala. It's Kayla or whatever. Kala. You didn't.
Which
like.
one did I kill?
I think you like Roa. You like Roa.
I forget. We have to go back in the chat. Yeah.
Basically, I continued on the Facebook group, which there's a link in this stream. Scroll up. I continued the movie, and fought a predator. I really
stories. This were cool. I love that. Yeah,
that sounds like
I introduced a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, you did.
You
kept trying to bring people back to the life, and I kept killing them because there wasn't enough people voting. So I was just fucking with J-Man, like, nope, they're gonna die.
It doesn't matter to me. It's the public chooses.
It was the like choose your own adventure, but I kept hoping J-Man had a plan, and I was like, no.
I've been running Dungeons and Dragons for 2 decades. I have no plan. I assume all participants in all games are murderers and cutthroats and asswipes. They just want to kill everything.
I will murder everything.
I never plan. You can ask my regulars. I've never planned more than 1 session ahead because I don't know what they're going to do. I set up this character and they're like, yeah, F this guy. They kill him. Like, I wrote this backstory for this guy. Oh, whatever.
Okay.
Never plan ahead. DM tip on Action Elite: do not plan ahead. Your players are all monstrous asswipes.
Yep.
They hate everybody unless they can get gold.
Even your friends in your Facebook group. But now, Grammerton, you're right. I would love Stan Bush to have done a song for you.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
It would have been the most.
He would sing the shit out of that. Let me tell
epic fucking song. It'd be right there with Transformers. But,
so you know who I would get? Manowar to do the new. I told you. As soon as I was looking at your face, Charlie, when I said, I was like, well, let me see what Charlie's reaction is, because I really thought this your movie. I was like, okay, you get Manowar to do the new Your song. That is bloody perfect.
Metal it up some, but
metal it up,
being the loudest fucking band.
That could make it work in a modern context.
Yeah. Yours world, he's a man. Yeah.
Oh, I would.
Right. And keep the same melody though.
Oh no, you keep that all that, but you just get that power behind it. That very Viking kind of singing is epic kind of shit. Manowar would be perfect.
That'd be I know. I started to write out a script of what I would do. Like, okay, how would I fix this up? I started to come up with how would the technology work if he really was out of time and he was left behind? Like, what would he have? Like, I was really thinking this through, and then I'm like, this is not happening. Why am I wasting my time on?
No, but it's fun to think about. Hell, I would actually just take a music video at this point instead of a movie. Let someone redo the song like we're talking about Manowar. Give me an updated
do it as a Netflix music video. More boobs, more graphic violence, and heavy metal.
So look, the shit we want, we're never going to get on stream.
It's never happening.
It's dude. I was literally just watching. I put it in our group chat, but I was watching Payback with Mel Gibson. He beats the shit out of women in that movie, and I'm just like, yep, they're never going to make a movie like this again. Like, it's just not going to happen. It's Mel Gibson, but it's just like, holy shit. This was a different time era, man. Different 80s and 90s are gone, brothers.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. We haven't mentioned, but I love how the androids look suspiciously like Darth Vader.
Just enough where George Lucas won't sue them.
Yeah.
Yes,
but it's kind of cashing in definitely on Star Wars as well. But I'm surprised that just all of that era that we haven't had like a new Flash Gordon movie. Like that's just ripe, and nobody's done it. I know they've talked about it for ages, but I'm surprised nobody's done it yet.
There was the TV series where he wore a leather jacket, and I thought
Yeah.
Reb Brown was not Reb Brown. Sam Jones was in it for an episode, but that show was like not that great.
No.
It only lasted a season. Yeah.
It only lasted the one. They're on Flash Gordon issue 3. I think that's this week or next week of the new rebooted series.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon did restart the strip on Comics Kingdom or King Features restarted a brand new strip. They're probably like 4 or 5 months into it, one a day, or I don't know if they do Sunday strips, but that's the only Flash Gordon thing.
Phantom, like the Phantom.
Phantom's still going from original
but
run.
Similar to like that is
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, the Phantom never ended. Lee Falk wrote a bunch in advance, died. His wife continued it, wrote a bunch in advance. She
And then
died.
other people
His
have taken-
protege has been doing it ever. They have not missed the Phantom since like 1930. Every day there's a Phantom strip since 1930, whatever
That's
it was.
fucking amazing.
That's incredible.
That's just amazing. I love
It's
it.
it's
I'm surprised
incredible.
more people don't talk about it. That should be like a huge thing, and they should be, want to do new movies or whatever. Because we talked about the movie before, and it was awesome.
Yeah, love the movie, but I also got to remember that when it was like popular was like when my dad was a kid, and it had already been out for like 10 to 20 years before he was born in the 50s. So, that era that grew up with it, like us growing up with the 80s and 90s, they're dying off, and that's why we're not getting movies. That's why Hollywood doesn't care about these IPs. I don't want to go down on a bash on Hollywood trope again.
Right.
I usually do, but that's why we're not getting a new Flash Gordon. They show it up to a focus group, and everyone in there goes, "Who's that?" I have no idea. Fuck Art the Clown.
Speaking of Art the Clown, so Terrifier 3 at the weekend. Oh my god, it's probably the most violent movie I've ever seen. But the thing was, nobody got up to like go out and be sick, and we were all laughing. Like,
yeah, a lot of people are laughing. Well, there's one guy laughing.
It's just, and I watched the first one a couple days ago
It's just
because I was like, let me
cartoon.
try these out. I laughed my ass. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, it's not even realistic. I mean,
It's
like,
not even good.
No.
Okay, it's not even good. All
What
right,
do you- I don't-
I'm sorry. I will die on this hill. I am a Terrifier hater. I watched 1 and 2. I didn't.
Charlie,
like
I'm
them.
right there with you, man.
I will.
I
watch
tried watching
3.
number 2. I got 10 minutes into it, and I'm like,
Oh no way, man! It's
Yeah.
great.
I know J-Man had you. This is
My whole
Listen,
Terrifier collection.
People
God
like
bless
what they
you
like.
for loving it.
I just don't. It's not my thing. And
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Just it's not my thing, and that
Exactly.
Nobody's
Go
gonna
hate.
fight you on it.
Yeah.
no,
Like I can't. Nobody who likes Terrifier can fight on someone who doesn't like it because there's nothing. I can't
It's
tangibly
acquired
make
taste.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can't make you. The violence is like horrific. It's crazy and super gory, but like for me, Sienna was so awesome.
Yeah.
she was awesome. Yes.
This is one of the
Standing
first
right there with
times. Yeah, like I was rooting for her over Art. Like, because look, you're watching it for Jason, you're watching it for Michael Myers, you're watching it for Freddy. When the human character can transcend to where you're like, oh, I really want her to win badly. Like when he's beating the crowd, I was like, okay, you know,
just walks past her and slaps her in the back of the head.
Yeah, what a dick. All that stuff, all that like cutting people in half, and then he just comes in like, you know what, screw you, buddy. That's a bitch move. I don't like that. I can take all the violence, but he slaps her in the head. It's like, screw off.
The thing is, though, is I love the sense of humor to it. Like it's very dark sense of humor, but whenever the couple are talking and Art's listening in,
That was so funny. He's like,
and then she's like, I didn't say I wanted to fuck the guy, and Art's like,
he's like,
Right. Yeah. It's like
he's doing all these.
No, the violence and shit was cool, and I was like, I like the bedroom kill in the second one. I thought, fucking hell, that's insane. Just overall, just
it's the shower scene in this one. But although to be honest, the Stanley knife scene I thought was more fucked for me.
The which one?
The Stanley knife scene.
That.
Yeah, just yeah.
Well, he did blow up. Children at a Santa thing, and that people were not happy on. That's the only thing.
I expected worse, to be honest. I thought he'd take the chainsaw out or something.
Can I just ask, like, who was feigning? Like, if you're going into this movie, aren't you
shouldn't be
aware of
fainting.
what you're
I
going
think
to
that's
see?
John. I
It's
agree with
cartoony,
you.
a marketing thing.
I agree with Owen.
Yeah.
I think it's 100% marketing. And
It's
honestly, if
bullshit.
someone walked out, most of the times when I walk out of a movie, it's because it fucking sucks,
Right.
and I'll walk out. Not that I was scared, not that I
I've
got
never
sick.
walked out of a movie.
But we
I
are
wa-
desensitized to this because we're a product from the 80s and the
Oh
slasher
yeah,
movie.
you're not. You can't shock me. In
Like
a
the
horror
yoga
movie
scene
anymore.
from that in A Violent Nature. Like I just expected flawless victory to be yelled after he did.
I
that.
literally thought that too, buddy. I was like, oh, they should put that on right now.
And it just and then it was funny. She
Pulls
turns
her
around,
through.
right, and it's like
Fuck
you
is
can go
this?
this way, you could go that way. Hell, I would have jumped off the cliff and took my.
I don't know. No, John, oh my God. I didn't know you'd seen that movie.
Yes.
What? That was outrageous. You're like, you can literally do anything right now. What is happening in this movie?
She was just like,
She's like, oh, and you're like, okay. And then he rips her thing. Like, this is very inventive. He like ripped her through herself. I was like, whoa, what the heck? That was pretty good. It was like a Mortal Kombat movie. I was like, he actually had the chain weapon. I'm like, this is.
it just kept going. Like she's dead, but yet then he's ripping her head through. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, we're still going. All right, let's see.
Like it's
how this
over.
ends.
Like,
It's
yeah,
like-
look.
it's like-
Listen, they're
You can imagine
trying.
being in Terrifier. Like the girl's dead. Like
Well, they're trying to recapture what happened back in the day when a horror movie would come out and no one literally had ever seen it. So they were getting sick. They were
Right,
getting
right.
scared. You know, movies like The Tingler, whenever they would make
gosh.
the chairs.
yeah,
do all this shit.
Tingler.
But that's not going to happen anymore. We don't give a shit.
We have YouTube. We've got
Right.
the internet.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see whatever
Oh.
the fuck I want 24/7. That's it. You know,
You can look up corpses and see one. You could do anything.
I see a
you
shit
want.
on TikTok. They showed a dude in a car accident and there was 2 parts of him. And the cop
Yeah.
just going, I have no idea what to do here. I'm like,
You had to split. All right.
somebody was in the chat going, why didn't he check for a pulse? Which half? Which half would you want him to check for a pulse?
Fuck, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, the thing was, whenever I was watching like Terrifier 3 and whatever, like I'm desensitized because I did forensics at college as an elective, so I've seen like horrible stuff with what people do to other people, and I'm like, a movie never will capture like what real people will do.
No.
So, anyway, we kind of went off on a tangent there, but I just want because I was desperate to
it
talk about it
happens.
with you because I went to see it by myself
So,
because nobody would see it with me. Ed would
Did anybody
therapy.
see it with you? Really?
No. So,
I went-
J-Man was busy.
No, I couldn't do it. The only time I literally was not feeling well during my day job, and then I wasn't feeling that bad, so I decided maybe I'll just go. So I called in sick because I wasn't feeling well, but then I got better, and then I went.
I
to
got
go see
better.
I got I got better. Yeah, that's right. I got better. Yeah. So, to keep it on fantasy though, heavy metal, Sean. I don't know if you saw this. It's coming back. Heavy metal.
I
Magazine's
saw.
coming-
Well, I mean, it's coming back, right?
I don't know
was
what that
back
means.
and kinda
It is
wasn't,
coming
so-
back, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
suggesting it's not. You're saying it's not the real heavy metal that's coming back.
Well,
but-
no, even the heavy metal in the last 10 years is whatever. So, we'll see. Well, I'll pick it up. I'll
Yeah.
pick it up. This is the closest thing to Yor I could find. It was either this or
I've got
Conan,
Conan
so-
underneath. Yeah.
I have Godzilla.
Yeah, see, I figured.
I
That's
have
also
good.
Deadpool and Wolverine. I
Yeah.
have nothing.
But where I keep my Your DVD
Oh,
is on the
beautiful.
other side is my heavy
Yeah.
metal.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
adjacent,
heavy metal.
It worked. It made sense to me.
Yeah.
Just going back to Wolverine's comment there, and you guys were talking about the Deathstalker remake. I kind of hate that I was broke at the time because I wanted to contribute to that so I could go to the premiere, but because it's
I
going to
dropped
be here
the ball
in
on that
Toronto,
one,
isn't it?
too. Yeah.
So you should, yeah. So the way that worked is you could only get 2 tickets. So I backed whatever I backed, and I got 2 tickets, and Sean wanted to go. So but I would have suggested, I didn't know what was going on with your situation, but I would have said to Steve, why don't you and Owen, you know what I mean? Like Steve could have bought it for the both
I don't
of
think
you. and
Steve
then-
was interested though, was he?
No, he did back it to get the he backed it for something. He backed it just to back it or something, but it's an add-on. So you didn't have to back anything big. You just have to back it in any way. And then I got an email as an add-on. So what happened with that was that I just backed it and I got an email saying, do you want to add on the premiere? Go to the premiere And I was like, well, obviously that's not happening. I don't even have a passport, so that's like not happening. And then it's a premiere in Toronto. I was like, what the shit? So I messaged them, and actually Kowalski messaged me back. Like he's like, yeah, it's gonna be in Toronto. I was like, oh shit, yeah. Then I immediately messaged Sean. I was like, Sean, do you want? Oh no, I messaged everyone who wants to go to this because it was like 150 something bucks extra, like per ticket. I was like, I don't mind gifting people, but like I'm not gifting that.
No.
So I was like, who wants to go to this? You know. And at that time, my wife was potentially losing her job. So I was like, I have to go to this. So it's like, if anybody wants to go with me, yes. If nobody wants to go with me, I'm not going because I can't afford to pay $300 just for myself. So Sean's like, yeah, do it. So we did it right there. And I was thinking, had I known that, I would have told Steve, just back it and then put that as an add-on. And then you guys, because they only give you 2 tickets. It wasn't like I could add it twice. I don't like Kickstarter's format. I tried to add something else on Deathstalker. I can't add it because the campaign's over. I'm like, why can't I go back and it's just digital? So I messaged him saying I want the digital friggin' matte paintings. They're doing the matte paintings on digital. I was like, I just want those. It was like $20. Like I'll take that. And I don't know. Anyways, whatever. But we're going to Deathstalker. So
when is it? Is it next year?
2025.
I just got last update. They're in post now.
Yeah,
That should be next year. Then
it should be next year.
Yeah, if it's anything like the 3 comics that they released, then it's
It'll
going
be
to be
good.
awesome. Those comics are great.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be stupid. It's so awesome, man. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
I
Deathstalker
hope
met
it's-
Barbaric. You got that too, right?
I got that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care about those characters, but I
Me
like
neither.
Deathstalker in it because he's like conning his way to the top.
Yeah.
It's so
Deathstalker
good.
in it is good.
Yeah.
And Mighty Barbarians was good too. That had friggin' Thongor in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these barbarian characters. I'm very surprised they didn't get The Mighty Barbarians was a comic series where they took all these guys that were hanging loose and put them together. So it's like a few Lynn Carter guys. You got Thongor, but you had Kull. So you had Thongor and Kull in one comic. I didn't know about this comic, and then I saw issue 3. I was like, Thongor, what the hell? And I'm like, Kull? Wait, what comic is this? And I was like, can you get me some of those? And Sean was able to get me some of the back issues, so I got the whole set now. But like, shit, why don't they do something like that? Your Kull, Thongor, who else did we mention?
Deathstalker,
all these loose hanging guys, right? Ator, like there's a lot of these guys that are just hanging around.
Yeah.
Barbarian Brothers, yeah, for sure. And they're all hanging out and have like the super barbarian team. Like, can you imagine like that'd like blow your mind?
I remember why I didn't contribute because I was being petty because Daniel Bernhardt never replies to emails anymore. I was like, oh well, then I'm not going to support you. And I was like, because it used to be cool, but I think since John Wick sort of resurrected his career, he's sort of like super busy doing things now. So I'm like, oh well, you just forgot about the little guy, and I'll forget about you then. Bye.
Probably could have got you an interview with Kostansky because, like J-Man says, he'll answer people. Yeah. He sent me direct messages. He had a Apple smartwatch when he was doing Psycho Gorman, and he shared a video and it showed the cop that had the gun. He trying to shoot himself, and I was like, "What happens when your alarm goes off?" And he sent me a fucking video. He goes, "It's this," and when the alarm goes off, the cop shoots himself in the head, the dead one.
Oh,
and
God.
It's fucking hilarious. And he like straight up through Instagram, he goes, here's what it does. It's just
I haven't seen Psycho Gorman. Is it worth?
Oh my God, it's the greatest movie. Oh my God, it's just the super best ever. I swear to God, I laughed throughout. Okay, the little girl is absolutely the most irritating girl, but the best at the same. I don't know how.
It's the best annoying character ever.
I don't know how they did it. I have no explanation. I sat there. I was like, I can't stand this little piece of crap kid. But then I'm like, she's the best character ever.
Dude, I want Power Rangers horror movie kid adventure.
Yes,
find it and watch it. It is fucking good.
It is so awesome. Yeah. So wait, who has not seen it? I can loan it to them.
Me.
I've yet to watch it, but I have it.
You have it, John?
Nope.
Okay, I'll loan it to everybody. Who are these people?
What's
going on, Charlie?
What's going
on here?
What kind of bizarro world are we doing here?
What is happening in here? It's like,
what's that new movie he made? There's a new one with a little guy.
Oh, the editor or Void? The Void?
Are you talking about the puppet one?
Stop motion.
It's like a little guy. It looks like a full moon thing, but it's not.
It just literally, I think, is coming out. I don't know.
Was
if
it the
it's out
trailer
now.
today? The Legend of Oki? Something like it was Willem Dafoe.
Is that the one?
I don't know. It's like a wee thing.
Look it up,
Hold
J
on.
Man. You're faster
Yeah, I'm
than me.
looking it up. Kostansky. Oh, Frankie Frico.
Frankie
Yeah,
Frico.
that thing.
That's it.
Never
It looks
heard of
like a garbage pail kid or something.
Yeah, it's like Muppet type things with the Garbage Pail Kid look aesthetic.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it.
Uh,
So Manborg was awesome. So we met him. Do you remember meeting him, Sean, for Manborg?
Yes, yeah.
I have
We
my
met him.
broken
We met him
DVD.
for Manborg. He was at one of the toy shows, and I thought, oh, this looks really cool. It'll go nowhere. And there you go. Father's Day I haven't watched yet, but it looks pretty cool. The Editor I also haven't watched yet, but it looks good too. The Void is bloody. Oh, guys, have you seen the
Yeah,
Void?
it's cool. Yeah,
Is
Shit.
the Void the one where they're in the hospital or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I have that. That's a
yeah.
fucking great movie.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
great
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
that's
think I'm
and
gonna watch
then
it this weekend.
he did Leprechaun Returns, which I own but I haven't watched.
I haven't watched it either. I have it. It's in some
Yeah.
weird collection
Yeah,
that I ended up getting it with.
That's not the wrestler guy one, right?
I believe so. That's
I
with
think
what's
that's
his name?
Hornswoggle?
Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't. Is it Hornswoggle? Yeah, it should be. I believe
I'm pretty sure it was Hornswoggle.
Yeah, it is.
That was the
it's
big
pretty sure.
controversy at the time.
Yeah.
And then the next one is, and then Psycho Gorman is sort of the next big one, and that one is just like all of his movies are good actually. And then Deathstalker's coming out. Deathstalker's not mentioned on Wikipedia. I'm not sure why that's.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's under Astron 6.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the other.
Is that a short film? Sorry. Oh, and I didn't know you're. I love it.
I thought Astron 6 was a production company.
Yeah, he's part of that, so it comes up under
Yeah,
that.
that's
thing
a
or-
different. Yeah.
But he's just on his own. I made so many like jokes about this kind of thing. Well, I'm just gonna get canceled. So I'm not. Well, I can say it on your channel. I won't get canceled on yours, but I can't say it on mine. It's gonna be a short movie. Yeah.
Whilst we're at 41 minutes, just look at the
That's
Well, no, we can
not
go back to your. So the cool thing is that I like when there's a feel like anything can happen. So the reason why I think most of us like these fantasy movies is that you sit down and it's like, wow, I could see a creature, I could see a dinosaur, I could see magic people, I could see zombies, I can see anything goes. Horror and fantasy. This is why every single director starts there. Peter Jackson, what's his face, James Cameron, who like Sam Raimi, name anyone. And they're in horror because nothing's taboo. Your imagination's your limit and your budget, I suppose. But in some cases, the budget isn't your limit either because you're going to just go for it and see what happens and hope for the best.
Right.
And you sit there and someone who sits there and watches and will scoff at doesn't understand what it takes to make a movie or have imagination. It's like, I want to make this your movie. Well, my budget is limited. Well, I don't care. I'm just going to make it the best I can. Well, that dinosaur doesn't look as good as Jurassic Park. Well, I'm not in the future and I don't have these future technologies that are available to me. I would say that, like some of the Carnosaur things look pretty dopey, right? No, I'm not, I love Carnosaur anyways,
Although
but
they're awesome, but yeah.
But like, I'm not saying, right? Like, okay, is it, how much better is it than yours? So anything can happen. So your imagination is roaming free in this world. And you're like, wow, what's got like all this cool shit's going to happen. Anything can happen in this movie. Like when Charlie, I would have loved, I did not see this movie when I was younger. I only saw it when I was older. I don't know how old I was, but I love the fact that you didn't know there's a future thing in it because that's super pumped. You're like, holy shit, what?
Yeah.
And your mind is blown. And now that's always going to be with you. Oh, that one where it was like all prehistoric. And then all of a sudden it was the future we didn't know.
And they do a good job. Like movies, I love when they do the movie as if you don't know what's about.
Yes.
Exactly. I actually, the Blu-ray we all have, it has the trailer. The fucking trailer gives it away immediately. And I'm so happy I never watched the trailer or had memories of it, because the way you should go through this story is being confused like Yor is, not knowing where he come from. There's all these mysteries around, and you're on this journey with him. And I fucking love it whenever, like my other co-host, Pete, he hates trailers just because he doesn't want to be spoiled on anything. He wants to walk into a theater. He barely wants to see a movie poster. He just wants to walk in, boom, sit down and experience the movie with no other influences on him. And I'm like, he's not wrong. I like a movie, the way movies used to be, where it's like, we want to surprise the audience and we don't want to put out too much fucking information. So walking into your not knowing,
that's
other
crazy,
than
man.
other than this, prehistoric looking dude. So the whole first part of this movie, I'm like, yes, sci-fi, fuck yes,
Yeah.
fuck yes. I love all of this. Look at the goddamn black stormtroopers running around. There's a blind dude that's Obi-Wan Kenobi and the shit out of this place.
Yeah.
It's so good, man.
You think, like in no other genre can anything happen. Like if you're watching a drama, it's going to be a drama. If you're watching a comedy, it's a comedy. If you're watching an action movie, it'll be an action movie.
It's going to be action, yeah.
Right. You're never going to get like something super weird. Not you could, but you could potentially. But you're not tuned. If you do get something weird, you're not tuned into it. But these movies, you sit down, you're like, okay, I'm going to watch Ator. That's a cheesier one. And you're like, yeah, but he's got a bear cub that's like his partner. Like, this is fucking cool. Like, and then there's like the giant spider he fights. You're like, oh my god, this is pretty neat. Like, oh, it's a fake giant spider. It's a fake giant spider. You know what? They couldn't get a real one. You guys, I know you're scoffing, but it's very expensive to get a real life giant spider. You can't just get them anywhere. There's not that many. Like,
unless you live in Australia. I mean,
yeah, unless you're in Australia. Yeah. No, but people make comments about it as though they're smarter than the thing. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. What was your awesome movie that you made, or what was the comic that you
wrote?
What did you do anything? Did you do a website? Did you do a podcast? Did you do anything? No.
I always think of that whenever I write reviews or anything. I always think that's why I never say anything like personally insulting when people are like, fuck this guy, I should never make movies, whatever else, blah, blah, blah. Because like, I know how hard it is to get a movie made at all. And the fact you made a movie at all is great. Good on you. And it may not work in always. Like I watched Mafia Wars the other day with Tom Welling and Cam Gigonde. I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but Cam Gigonde always makes for a good villain. And he kind of hams it up. And Tom Welling, he's my Clark Kent from
He's
Smallville.
Superman.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep. Sean and I made fun of Smallville just yesterday.
But they make a like Superman like comment in this movie, and you're like, you didn't need to do that.
Well, they had to
solitude, and you're like, oh, he's funny because he's Superman.
I get it.
Yeah, but but the film had like CG explosions and CG muscle flare and CG blood, squids. And I'm like, no, lost it. And I was like, God, remember when action movies were spectacular? That's the whole point in them, is you watch it because you're supposed to, wow, that's a great stunt. Oh, that's a great explosion, whatever. I'm like, oh well, somebody rendered that on After Effects, and it just looks like shit. And that's the problem. If you're not blown away by what's happening, then why are you doing it?
It's like no budget, real low, but Jesus, they put fire everywhere in this movie. There is my favorite my favorite shot in the entire movie is when Yor is swinging that fucking club at the camera, and it busts through that piece, and it just like shatters, and the whole screen's filled with real fire. Just fucking amazing. And you just keep watching the movie, and it's like more fire. There's a flaming sword in this thing. When things explode, they explode into fire, and it's awesome. The model, they flew the model at the end through a fireball, and you actually see it burnt the string, and it starts to fall, and they cut the camera, and it's flying away into the sunset. That motherfucker fell down.
Wait a minute. I don't think that. I think you forgot why they're making the movie. You see, this is what happened with action. They're like, oh, well, it's much easier to just have an explosion. No. You're not making a like high level drama. You're making an action movie. The point is to see the real explosions. That's one of your draws.
Point, yeah.
This is why I'll defend a little bit of the Terrifier. It's like the point is to be over the top and gory. That is why you're going in here. Now, the bonus is that you're getting Sienna, who's a great character, and you care about her and stuff. So that's the bonus that you're getting, but you're going for the gore. And if you don't like gore, then why are you going to see this? Like, my wife doesn't really get into action films. Like, like she watched Die Hard. She's like, yeah, that was okay. It was fine. Like, she doesn't care. So I'm like, yeah, but this guy's on his own. He's got to go. Yeah, I don't care.
This is why I'm single.
He's got no shoes. His feet are bleeding. It's like,
yeah. So okay. So let's examine that for a second. They kept upping it, right? It's like, okay, he's on his own. He's at a disadvantage because he's outnumbered. He's also trapped in one location. Now he's barefoot. Walk around bare. Forget, go outside. just go walking around outside barefoot, you'd be like, oh, this is it feels weird. Like it adds element of scariness. And when they said shoot the glass, dude, your watcher's like, oh fucking shit. And you're like, I didn't even the movie was clever in that you forgot a little bit. You're like, oh yeah, he's running around. Okay. Then it's like shoot the glass. You're like, okay. Oh shit, he's barefoot. You're like, oh my God, no. And then it's all button. You're like, and everybody, my mom saw that in the theater. She loves Bruce Willis. She's seen every Mel Gibson movie and every Bruce Willis movie in the theater. And she's telling me, oh my God, he pulls his glass. I was like, why am I not seeing this movie? My mom is the spoiler. Forget you. Are you upset about spoilers? My mom came back and told me the entire Die Hard 1, and then came back and saw Die Hard 2 and told me the entire Die Hard 2. The whole movie.
Mom, just take me for God's sake. Take me.
She's like, no, I shouldn't take you to these movies. I'm like, I'm literally watching Friday 13th.
But let me talk about them to you and explain everything vividly in graphic detail.
But it kept adding it. That's why that movie's so cool. Look, a guy fighting a bunch of villains, but we've seen this 100 times, but they kept upping the ante on this guy. And then he has no support.
Oh, he's just a normal guy. He's a cop. Yes, he's trained, but he's just a normal fucking guy that is fighting 12. Well, they're not terrorists, as we find out, but you know what we call it.
They're trained. They have a plan. He doesn't. You know,
So just going back to when we need practical the CG, like whenever they're using CG in a movie which has like a low budget, why? And like, oh, we couldn't afford explosions. Why are you making a movie?
Well, you're gonna get that too, like with the safety factors now, because of
I know that's the problem. Yeah, but it's fine if you're gonna do it and it actually looks good. But if it doesn't and it's not convincing, then
that's the
problem. Don't do it if you can't.
Well,
here, don't do it if you can't spend that money to make the muzzle flashes, because they have been done. Well,
the John Wick movies are all muzzle flashes.
Yes.
It's all CG.
It can be done if you're willing to put the effort. Now it's about speed and getting it out. And hell, big budget movies are just as guilty of it. You know, the last half of the Expendable series, everything's CG all of a sudden, and it wasn't even really good CG. So it's all about lining pockets half the time than it is that we didn't have the money. We had it, we just didn't want to spend it on that.
We just spent it on hookers and cocaine.
Just give me a good car flip. Give me a good, fucking gasoline explosion coming up that rolls up into the air and looks fucking amazing on film.
That's why I like there's indie filmmakers like William Kaufman and Jesse Johnson, whatever, and they make cracking action movies for and they don't have a huge budget, but they look great and they have great action, and you can tell there's a lot of time and effort put into it.
Well, so, Jesse Johnson says he'll always use blanks. He's like, because I know what I'm doing and my staff know what they're doing. So
it's like he's been doing it for years. He comes from a stunt background as well, so he gets it. So
make them shorter, right? Like don't make them 2 hours where you have to just make them 90 minutes and make a really good villain and a really good hero, and then you can forgive a lot if you like a character. You know what I mean? If you're into the story and you like a character, you can forgive little things. If it's like, really there was a bit of CGI there, but I like this movie. This guy's awesome.
So next week we're going to finally do Excessive Force. We'll talk about Excessive Force 2 as well. If you haven't seen it, I'll lend it to anybody who needs to borrow it. The week after. Interview the Killer's Game. I haven't watched the Killer's Game yet. Let's watch that because that's Batista and Scott Adkins.
I missed out on that one too. Yeah, I apologize. Lots been going on.
I'd heard about that.
Yeah, I read that too. Yeah.
So apparently they were doing something during this strikes or whatever. But
that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay. So next week we'll do Excessive Force, and I think that will be a longer one. So we'll talk about that and then the sequel as well. Excessive Force 2, Force on Force. That's a whole lot of force there.
It should have been good force on bad force.
Or literally just anything else. It's like, really
blunt force.
More excessive.
Force.
I like blunt force.
Excessive force.
I like excessive.
Excessive force.
Succotash is excessive for.
This shit's excessive.
Force.
So we'll do that next week anyway, and that'll be sort of a longer show as well. So
Who knows what we'll end up talking about next week?
Oh, yeah.
Excessive
We
Force
talked about Yor for
Awakens.
like 10 minutes here. So.
Excessive Force Awakens.
Awakens.
Put it in the chat. Fucking awesome.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, I see
Gramerton, I'm remembering the truck stop thing you said about
Oh my
Pete.
God.
I'm saving that one for the show later to get
it.
him
Excessive.
on. Excessive Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one next week. So now, sorry, Steve isn't here this week. Steve is unwell with bronchitis, and ain't nobody got time for that. So hopefully he'll be feeling better then, and if not, then he'll be back here next few weeks. So feel better, Steve.
Yep.
So does anybody have any Yor related stuff they want to say, or are we?
I mean, I don't know. We're check out the comic. It's cool to have the comic translated for once.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I haven't seen the comic. Is the comic in the comic book store? Because I go to mine and
I could not find it.
But it's hard to get for them for some reason. Like Diamond's being Diamond, so
I think it's a Diamond issue.
It is, yeah.
Because it's such a limited. They're probably doing it as a limited run.
right.
I don't know. We know the guy that's involved with it, and I don't even think he can tell us why the distribution sucks so bad.
No.
Yeah.
But he's been sending me the PDFs of it anyways as he's been doing it, so I'm getting them that way. And I think he was okay to give them to a few of you guys or whatever. But
I think I got the you sent me the first one, and I still got to read it.
Is it sorry? Is it Antarctic Press? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so that's Steve does another comic there that I ordered
Jungle.
and that's all Jungle Comics. Yeah,
Jungle Comics.
and that's always late too. So yeah,
Gramerton, you're welcome. That's what I'm gonna say.
You're right. I have so many Yor greeting cards. I have Enjoy Your Thanksgiving, which I forgot to do, and I had that ready to send out, and I didn't do it. I'm going to send it out now. It's late.
You're in for a treat for the Excessive Force Awakens next week.
You're in for a treat. That says. I got to rewatch. I watched that like ages ago. I forgot the entire. As we were saying
last week. I'm going to watch the second one in the next few days just to refresh it, because the problem is I haven't seen Yor for a few months, so I'm a little rusty on it. So that's why this is a little shorter than usual. But
I will watch it right before we record, because that's the only way I can remember shit anymore.
That's the same. Like you got this to look forward to, kids. Whenever you reach 40, that's it. Like you don't remember anything. Like I watched a movie 2 days later. What did I watch?
Right, so I'm going to be 52 in a couple of months.
No, it's what's Memento, Guy Pearce's thing, where I can remember anything I watched as a kid, but anything new, I can't watch new movies. I just immediately forget them.
Yeah.
It's like, because they're forgettable.
True. It really is. I can recite movies word for word.
Yeah.
And then you watch something newish even, and I'm just like, I don't fucking remember nothing.
Do you know what we watched the other day, which Ed hadn't seen before? And it's one of my secret shame movies that everybody sort of dumps on, but I kind of secretly kind of like it, despite it being silly. Is I, Frankenstein?
Oh, that's a great movie.
I love that movie.
It's a fucking awesome movie.
Oh,
Aaron Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart,
action hero status with that movie.
Yeah, and that was cool. But then the best scene of the movie is like in the middle when they're fighting around the church, and then whenever the gargoyles will be called, and they go rays of light, and then they go up into like heaven, and then there's like flames everywhere. And I was like, this movie's really cool ideas, and I love movies like that. And there's like Van Helsing and and then
immediately makes me want to watch that. Yeah,
and then all this I think is, where's my Castlevania movie? Yeah, Priest, Legion, all that stuff. Good religious action. Yeah,
religious action.
Yeah. Where's my Castlevania?
Legion?
Blasphemy.
Fucking Legion.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, Legion. I saw all those in the theater. I thought Frankenstein was. I saw. Yeah. I thought Frankenstein was pretty cool. I thought Priest was cool too. Like
Priest is maybe one of the best music scores of the past 20 years.
Yes,
incredible.
Was that Jablonski? I can't remember.
No, that was Christopher Young.
Christopher Young. Wow. Yeah, I remember that being really great, because in the end credits, we always stay for the end credits, and the music was excellent.
Oh yeah, I mean, I listen to it all the time. I have it like on a playlist. I love just driving around listening to it. Just makes me feel important. But yeah, no, it's awesome. So if you like movie scores, then Priest is one of the best I've heard in years. It's really good.
Also, if you like, anything with Carl Urban before he got like really, really big and popular, he would just show up in these random B-level movies, and he's just badass in this. Pathfinder.
I saw that in the theater too.
Damn, that movie's so good. Love it.
Yeah.
He's raised by Viking.
He was a Viking raised by Native Americans.
He was a Viking.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the Vikings came to
I have
attack
that. I
them
have to
with, like,
revisit that. Oh goddamn! All these movies I got.
I know maybe we'll do a chat about that at some point. I think definitely.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Woman's
Moon,
driving
what's her
around like Ryan
name?
Gosling.
Moon Bloodgood.
Moonblood,
Her name.
Oh, she was
Ryan
awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Owen, did you get the driving gloves? Do you like do this before?
I already have driving gloves. Yeah. So I got a new car. That was one of the reasons why we didn't do the thing last week. So it's 2018 Elantra, and it is the most beautiful car I've ever had. It talks like you get. It's like, say a command, and I'm like, shut up, bitch, and then it doesn't say anything.
Oh my god!
Then it actually shuts up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like Christine. Careful.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Or can you get it? Can you get a voice changer and make it sound like Knight Rider? You know, Mr. Feeney's voice as it goes through.
I know. Well, J-Man, your directing thing is Christina Aguilera, isn't it?
Yeah, on Waze you can pick different. So the only one I picked, I've got Christina Aguilera as my Waze. I remember, yeah, you're like, what the hell was that? I was like, that's Christina Aguilera.
Because I was driving, it was directing me, and he's like, you made it. It's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
I want Sam Jackson as my GPS.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
there
they
you
don't-
go.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
Third.
they don't have all the cool. That's the only one that was like, they have like Halo, Master Chief. That's Halo, right? They have got Halo, but they've got stuff where it's like a noir, like a film noir detective. It's like, all right, it's like we got to turn the corner, see, and or whatever. It's like it's like that kind of thing. It's like you're like, oh, this is kind of neat. It's like the perps on the across the street or whatever. It's stuff like that. So I was like, but I kept Christina Aguilera. I thought that was
Dude,
Don
give me
LaFontaine.
Don LaFontaine as my directions. Him or Peter
After he
Cullen.
died, movies weren't good.
Got a good point.
Man,
At least movie trailers sucked even worse.
Yeah, that was the thing, because without his voiceover, yeah. Hey, we made it to an hour. There we go.
Yeah.
101. Star Wars.
Nailed.
Yeah.
No, we
This is Star
did. We did Excessive Force Awakens. That counts.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's just
all right.
We didn't bring that up. That was
Star
Alex.
Wars.
So,
Star
And
Wars
we said
sucks. How's that?
We said
There's
Darth Vader earlier, so we got it in.
that is true. Yeah, that's it. So, all right. So, yeah, we're back next week. Finally, to talk about Excessive Force. So I'm looking forward to that one because I just watched that the other day. So that should be interesting. You guys got anything cool coming up in the next few days, stream wise?
We're in the month of horror, doing all horror movies on the podcast. This week we did a family friendly one with Casper. That was a lot of fun. I died because of the hurricane, so I wasn't on the episode. So they brought me back with a Ouija board. It was a fun episode. Next week will be Army of Darkness, and then we finish out the month with Candyman. So it's a good month.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. What are we doing, Sean? Friday, we're finishing up Fantastic Four. Then Monday's Legion. And then, I don't know, there's something every day. Just go to the channel and put on notifications. I'm doing minimum 1 video a day, usually 1 to 3 a day, and at least 2 to 4 live streams. So,
yeah,
whatever.
I'm 2 a day right now. So,
Sean, you're doing 2 a day, right?
Yeah.
Now that we're back doing this, I want to try just doing it more and stick to like a strict pattern of doing it, because having it choppy and then not being around for a few weeks or whatever, it sucks. So,
hurts the algorithm.
I haven't done mine in 2 weeks.
Yeah, life gets in the way.
I thought life was supposed to find a way. Somehow life always gets.
No, it just gets in the way instead.
Yeah,
that's the real quote. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll peace out there then, I think, and we'll be back next week for Excessive Force, and I'll be more with it then, I think. So, thanks guys for joining. And remember, if you are watching, you are in fact the Action Elite.